podcast with myself, Chris Kelly, and there's BB Shea. I just said we're going to... Oh, you're looking at my glasses.
Yeah, matching today.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good, isn't it?
I like it.
I took my other glasses that are more, what's the word? Streamlined, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Smaller frames, and put them in the car and left them in the car by accident. It's my backup pair. And I get, so everybody else gives me guff, but you say, all right, not bad.
You know, I like the way they look on you. The style's a little bit different. It's kind of not you. You got like a divorced cougar look going about you today. Yeah.
Very much
with the cheetah print on the side.
I went tortoiseshell, but a lot of people are calling it cheetah print.
Yeah.
I think you may be accurate. You might be accurate about that. So if you want to call me a divorced cougar, you can call me a divorced. I just said we're going to podcast our ass off in here.
That's what we do every time.
I think that's true. I was getting ready to go, and somebody called me old today because I'm going to buy my wife a Valentine's Day card. So we have a difference in generation here.
Yeah.
So I said I was getting ready to go shopping, card shopping. That's what we do. We always just give cards now.
I get it. Yeah.
And the guy said, "Oh, you're old. Younger people don't." Just said it out. He said, "Young people don't buy greeting cards. That's only for like 40 and above." So is that it? Is the greeting card industry going to come to an end?
I'm surprised it's still around, to be honest with you.
Really?
I really am. And I get the sentiment. I just don't know, as somebody who receives a card, how long am I supposed to keep it for? That's always been my question.
Didn't you? And you just throw them away.
Yes, and I just never understood. I get it. It's nice.
Yeah.
And then again, they're all kind of boring. There's
the greeting
really
cards?
yes.
But if you get a funny one.
But they're not even that funny. The funny ones are not funny.
Well, the birthday cards could be funny, I think. You don't think so?
I really don't, no.
Really? But I do. I think the birthday cards are funny, and the... like Valentine's, no, not as much because they're usually romantic and whatnot. Or anniversary, I try to be really good for anniversary. Once I knew a guy who was so cheap as he and his wife got older, they would go to the grocery store or the drugstore or the Hallmark store, pick out a card. Like he'd pick out a card for her. She'd be in the store as well. He'd take it to her. She'd read it, put it back on the shelf, and they'd leave.
Perfect. Because what does a card cost? $5?
$5 or $6.
$5, $6, that's ridiculous.
If you get a nice one,
you can make one cheaper than that.
Oh, easily.
Get some construction paper, doodle something on it.
But my question to you also is, if that's the case, is the greeting card industry going to go away? Because I feel like if you get a what do you say? If you've got a Valentine or wife, a husband, if you're 22, what do you do for them? A text?
Maybe. I think that a personally written letter means a lot more. But
that's always been the case. So if you go and buy a card and write something personal in the card and spend the $5 or $6, that's a lot more effort than just whatever I would assume young people do, like a Instagram post or something. Although I do see a lot of people doing that kind of stuff.
That stuff, the going out there and putting it out on social media for everybody to see, I guess that's the real way to express your feelings for somebody now.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
I don't know. I'm not in a relationship. I've never expressed my love for anybody.
No, you don't. But let's say you're buying your parents a card, or let's say it's their anniversary or their birthday. You get them a birthday card?
No, I don't.
You don't get them a birthday
card? Happy birthday. Love you. Appreciate it.
What if you lived, you live in the same living room with, literally, not just the same city. You live in the same home kitchen with them.
Yeah.
What if you lived across the country? Would you send them a birthday
card? Give them a phone call.
Really?
Yeah. No,
that's it.
I don't think I've ever bought anybody a card in my entire life.
But don't you think that really shows I'm thinking of you? I'm going to the effort to go into a store, buy the card, write the card, send the card.
Not so much as a phone call, I think. I think a phone call now means just as much to anybody.
Way less effort, though.
But then again, people hate phone calls.
Yeah, because you just text them then.
But I would rather hey, man, happy birthday, love you, hope you have a good day.
Yeah, what's going on?
I feel like that, and a personalized phone call to somebody.
Here's how antiquated I am. I have a niece and nephew that I love, and they're getting, they're in their 30s now. And I send them a card every year, and I always have since they were 18, a card, and I write them a $50 check, and put it in the card. So you're sending money that way too.
Yeah.
Boy, is that grandfatherly or what?
Then that's a chore for them as well. They have to go cash it.
But can't you now just take a picture of it?
You're right. Now you can actually just put it on your phone.
Well, that's true.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I just turned on to Venmo about 3 weeks ago. My wife finally let me have Venmo, and that's really changed my world.
Venmo's great, isn't it?
It's a nice thing. I have to say, I'm kind of anti-technology. I don't know if you've noticed, but Venmo has been a cool thing for me.
I love Venmo.
The other thing, he was telling me you're old. The other things, I saw a list of things that make you, it's like only people over 40 or 50 use it. Cable TV, is that going away?
Slowly going away. But I wouldn't be surprised if it eventually came back.
No.
Well, maybe not cable, but the idea of cable came back.
Again, someone today said if we could take all those streaming apps, Netflix and all the others, and bundle them into one thing, well, that's cable.
That's exactly what it was.
That's what cable was.
But now you just have an option.
We split them all apart, but as we've discussed, you're paying about the same now. You're getting up there. And of course, I have YouTube TV, which is cable. I mean, it's all the channels I used to have, but it's just delivered via the stream. So what do I care?
I feel like local channels, local news. There's always going to be a place for that because that's where your sports are. Stuff like ESPN, I feel like there's always going to be a place for that.
But not through cable. It'll be through streaming apps. Yeah. I mean, you'll get ESPN Plus or CBS Plus, or you'll get, YouTube TV.
Yeah, but whether it be cable or YouTube TV, there's always going to be something like that.
But networks like NBC and CBS, it's like there'll be a different thing. I feel like in 50 years, they'll just stream it to a device rather than broadcast it over the air.
Yeah.
I mean, there are still people that have like rabbit ear TVs, I guess, but fewer and fewer. I don't
think those work anymore.
Do they not even work?
No, I think it's all a digital signal now because I remember there was a time where everybody was like, it's going to stop, and you had to get a digital TV.
Well, my father, we used to have, he just had cable TV, and now he's passed away. But we had cable TV that just plugged into the back of his wall to the TV, and he used the remote.
Yeah.
And then it became, because they went digital or something, it was a box with a different remote, and that really threw him. He didn't like that.
I remember having to do that for my grandparents, too.
Yeah.
Like, you got to turn the TV on with this remote. You got to change the channel with this remote. That was tough.
And then the other thing that they say is going away, younger people, I'm reading this now, tend to stick with a $20 coffee maker and a hand mixer, but older people will buy specialty home appliances, like different things, we'll buy espresso machines and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But younger people, I guess, can't afford it. I mean, those are
if you have an espresso machine in your house, that's high living right there.
Well, we do not have it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even like a toaster oven,
we have
that's high living.
You don't have it?
I've got a air fryer and a Keurig, and that's about it.
We have those. I like the air fryer.
Air fryer's great.
I think the air fryer, when you talk about inventions that are underrated, the air fryer might be one.
I 100% agree with you. I just showed my dad how to use it. He was kind of anti it for a long time. But then I'm like, you can do whatever you want to in this thing.
You can make frozen stuff that really is
crisps
good.
It up.
Yeah.
First thing my dad cooked in it was chicken livers. He breaded some chicken livers and put them in the air fryer. He goes, that's the best thing I ever had in my life.
My father loved chicken livers.
I'm like, I don't get it.
My parents liked them. I hate the texture of them.
The taste is
awful. It's mushy. It's awful.
Don't get it.
The only last thing is that, like, the big divide when it comes, landline phones, but I don't almost nobody, just older people.
Very few people, yeah.
And I mean, when we made the decision 12 years ago to get rid of the landline, and even that was a big step. It's like, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
And it's plugged right into the wall. And then the in-store shopping. But I still like to go in-store.
I do too. As technologically advanced as I am, I love going inside of a store and shopping.
Well, we have a Super Bowl party coming up.
Yeah.
You're invited.
I know. I'm still shocked about that. I'm still waiting for you to tell me that it's not real.
I was surprised myself that you got an invitation to that. But you did, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And we're doing the shopping for it this week. And for the first time, and this is easier. Now, usually I go in to different stores and go place to place. I mean, it's a lot of shopping. You make the food. A lot of like dips and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And my wife, and of course, you had to buy beer and soft drinks and all that kind of stuff. And she this time loaded up the cart at the grocery store, and we're just going by to pick it up. That's new to me. I don't do that kind of stuff.
I like walking the aisles.
I do too.
I like looking at stuff that just came out, new stuff like that. The weight, and I really love that.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
These are things that older people still spend money on that younger people do not, and in-store shopping with one. So did you watch the Grammys? You're a music person.
I didn't watch them. I kept up with them, sort of.
Yeah.
Mainly just the rap category.
Didn't a guy, Killer Mike, you familiar?
My boy.
You like Killer Mike?
I went and saw him in concert last year.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Do you know when the first time I heard the name Killer Mike was?
When?
6 hours ago.
Really?
6 hours ago, I heard the name Killer Mike because he won 3 Grammys.
Yeah.
And then got arrested at the show.
Oh, I did not hear that.
You didn't know he got arrested?
Did he get arrested?
Yeah, but it seemed like some sort of mix-up or something. He left in handcuffs. Literally walked outside. They were waiting.
I did not hear about this.
I forget the charge. I need to look up the charge.
That's my boy.
But he did. So what do you like? I don't even know rap. You can't even tell me what you like about him. But I mean, you could tell me and I wouldn't know. But yeah, his name's Killer Mike. And I just read it. Here it is. Killer Mike was at the Grammys. And earlier Sunday afternoon, he won big in the rap category for a few things. Then he was detained for a reason still unknown at this point that has nothing to do with the Grammy Awards. But LAPD said that they were waiting for him outside the venue near the VIP entrance, and they took him away in handcuffs. He says it's a big nothing. His spokesperson.
I would, because I mean, he does smoke a lot of weed, but isn't weed legal in LA?
Probably.
Yeah, it's got to be legal there.
Probably.
That's weird. No, I saw him. I was a big fan of his new album.
Yeah.
I saw him live a few months ago.
Yeah.
And before the show, I actually saw him get off his bus and almost got a picture with him, but I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah. Really? You tried to get maybe get a picture
yes.
of him? Yeah.
I've been a fan of Killer Mike for a long time.
Okay.
Yes.
And you didn't know that he was arrested.
I had no clue.
How about Taylor Swift winning her 4th album of the year?
No
First
surprise.
person to do that. Not a
No
surprise.
surprise.
And didn't she drop the nugget? She's got a new album coming out this year.
Probably so. I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't know
No,
that?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
No, she said when she got her acceptance for one of these, she said, and I've been keeping something from you, a new album in April. And everybody, of course, went berserk.
Crazy.
You know how it goes.
Yeah. No, when it comes to Grammys and her, I just assume she wins everything.
Right, yeah.
So,
Well, exactly.
yeah.
And then how about this? Miley Cyrus won her first Grammy, and I was surprised it was her
First ever.
Isn't that
Wow.
surprising?
Yeah, that's very surprising.
Because she's been in the business since she was
A kid.
very young, and she's just won the first Grammy. I know.
Good for her.
So she wins that. I don't know. I don't really keep up with those award shows very much. But
Yeah.
I know you're into it. But
Yeah, I like the Grammys. You know, I try to listen to albums that are nominated here and there, but not as much as the Oscars.
do you
That's
think?
my
Yeah,
thing,
well, I know
though.
you're.
Yeah,
Into it. Have you seen all the Oscar
I'm
movies? yet?
done.
You've seen every
I've
Oscar
seen
movie.
every one of them. I watched my last two yesterday.
What were those?
Zone of Interest
Yeah.
and Maestro.
And you've seen. Well, I have no interest in Maestro whatsoever.
You shouldn't.
Really?
You should not.
Not good.
I hated it.
Really?
Yes.
That's the movie where Bradley Cooper plays
Leonard Bernstein, yeah.
There was a controversy because he had like a prosthetic nose.
Yeah, they were like, how come a Jewish person can't play a Jewish person? I'm like, they do it all the time. But
They do. I hate those kind. To me,
agree.
that's like a manufactured controversy.
I agree.
I mean,
yes.
he's a great actor. He put his heart and soul into this role. He had prosthetics to make him look like the person.
Yeah.
I never liked that kind
I was like,
of stuff.
shouldn't you just appreciate that somebody's trying to tell the story?
Do you mind it if somebody like what's his name in The Whale?
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser. Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people say that you should hire an overweight actor to play it. He put on a fat suit, you know.
Yeah. And he killed it. He did great.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a great actor.
Yeah.
I feel like we used to respect that kind of thing. Now it's like, oh, you're keeping somebody from this role or whatever.
I did. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I don't either.
No, I know I'm all for inclusion, but I mean, the right person should do the role.
Absolutely.
And Brendan Fraser did it all the justice that could have been done.
And as
Yes.
I'm sure Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, no, he was fine in it.
But
the
you
movie
hated the
was
movie.
just I don't
have
care
no
anything.
interest in that guy
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I don't care about it at all.
Me neither.
That's my thing.
So that's 10 movies that you watch. I've only seen 3, and I'm supposed to watch all 10 by the time we do our Oscar preview show.
You got some work to do. That's right. Yeah.
I got about a month.
I know. I'm gonna forget a lot about a lot
That's
of
going to
them,
be
so,
tough, and you've
yeah.
seen that many so far.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the Grammys, do you think people, or anybody, I guess, when they go to these shows, whether it be actors or singers or whatever, if they don't win, you know, and many of them know going in, they're not going to, is there a bunch of disappointment? Do you think there's disappointment?
I don't know. I feel like an artist should not get disappointed if they lose at the Grammys.
Yeah.
Now,
Should we even judge them like that, you know? I mean, do we need these awards?
I don't think so.
Are they all just moneymakers?
Yeah, it is, and it's a good way for people to go on stage and be recognized for their work.
And it gives a boost to the sales. I guarantee the sales of Miley Cyrus will go up today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the movies that are nominated for Oscars will go back to the theaters and go up.
Absolutely.
You know?
But Taylor Swift doesn't need a boost in popularity.
Of course,
Killer Mike, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like the arrest will help him.
Yeah,
I never heard
absolutely.
of him. Now I'm kind of interested in him.
Yeah. But Killer Mike's been doing this for, 30 years. And
Has he really?
He's been around for a while, yeah. And this is really his first big. He won a Grammy maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Has he been arrested before?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Because of the weed.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been legal forever, has it?
No.
Right.
He's probably been arrested before.
I was smelling some weed recently.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. I just know there was a strong scent of marijuana. I didn't see it, but I smelled it recently. Did you smell it?
It's a lot more prevalent. I think we were at the same place together.
And it was all around.
Yes.
I was surprised.
And it was a nice place.
I was surprised.
It's a very nice place.
Theater atmosphere, and there was weed.
It was just ruminating across the whole place.
I could certainly smell it. A lot of places that I went there. I feel like the whole country's going to smell like weed eventually.
You're probably right.
So many. I know a lot of people when they hear this podcast say, just go ahead and do an edible. My God, all you talk about, we've talked about marijuana before.
We've talked about that,
But I'm not going to do that. Not with you.
Don't you think it would enhance it a little bit?
No, I feel like if I took an edible in front of you, you'd like have something on me in an illegal way.
Well, we'll just do it and I won't look at you.
No. You'd be able to tell. You'd be able to tell. I have to.
What if it's an illegal edible?
No, I have to keep my edge. I always have to. You know how I do.
It's only when nobody's looking.
I always want to keep my edge. We just saw some comedians. Now these guys are so great, and I'm every year this happens.
Yeah.
We do a comedy show, and you and I are backstage, and other people, and we're back there with the comedians, and they'll be drinking beer and stuff, getting ready to go on stage. They're working on the. And I always think, how can you do that when you're working? That's how square I am. That's why I'm the square.
I get it though. I get it.
Loosen them up.
Yeah, I get it. The loosening up, and I feel like when you're a little intoxicated, a little inebriated, you just kind of let your inhibitions go.
You think
you're able to communicate with the crowd a little bit
comedy
better.
Show.
I think so. Yeah.
I would be afraid, like I would forget my line if I were an actor. I would forget the joke if I were a comedian. I could never do that.
But when you're as seasoned as these guys, they know what they're doing. They've done their act before, and maybe getting a little bit, off a little bit can help them out.
Maybe I'm just. Oh, I'm sorry, my computer's making noise. I guess maybe I'm not good drunk because many times I have tried to do stuff. Never working wise, but I always am like, I don't feel right here. That's what I mean by keeping my edge.
See, I've tried to rap drunk before in front of people and just
do that.
Terrible.
You can't do that.
Terrible.
I feel like you get a sharper show with just about anything, but I could be wrong about that, especially in the entertainment like comedy or that kind of thing. Now singing, no, but I think I've heard some drunk performances. It's terrible.
It's funny, but no, it's not.
There was a woman that was on the stage. Who is it? She was on the stage for like a Dolly Parton. What's her name? What's his name's daughter? The actor's
Elle King.
King
Rob Schneider's daughter.
Was on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry to pay tribute to Dolly Parton and was just drunk. You could tell it. It was terrible.
I don't know.
An awful thing.
I mean, I would have to be drunk to enjoy Dolly Parton myself. So,
well, you've said that, which makes me sick. Dolly Parton's performance at halftime of the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving was probably the highlight of 2023.
You think?
Well, with that cheerleader outfit. You think I haven't seen that a few times? Yes, I absolutely loved it. Now, speaking of entertainment and the arts, our top 5 this week.
Yeah.
And it was I suggested because Carl Weathers died, which I hated.
It's unfortunate.
I'm a big fan.
I didn't know he was. I know it's not young. What was he? 74?
76. I think.
I thought he was a lot older than that.
Oh, did you?
I thought he was maybe like in his late 80s.
Oh, really?
I didn't know he was only 70 something.
Now, what have you seen him in? Mandalorian. You don't watch Mandalorian.
I watched like the first 4 episodes of Mandalorian. I wasn't a big fan.
Why not?
I don't know. The whole I tried to get into Star Wars. It just doesn't intrigue me.
You seem like a Star Wars person.
Yeah, I just never got into it.
I like the first set of movies, and I also watched Mandalorian, but then someone shamed me into not watching Mandalorian because they said it was a kid's thing.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching. I saw one season, but I thought it was very good, what I did see. He's in it.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to do, because of Carl Weathers' death, the top 5 Sylvester Stallone movies, because he's always linked with Sylvester Stallone from Rocky.
Right. Yeah.
And you said you'd only seen one Sylvester Stallone movie ever.
Correct. Yes.
What have you seen?
Rocky 4. It's
you
the
didn't
only Sylvester Stallone movie I've seen.
You didn't see the first 3
I didn't see the first Rocky, second, third, fourth. Yes, I love it.
Do you like 4?
I think it's, I can't say it's the best one, but yes, I think it's great. Rocky 4 is amazing.
I thought it was terrible. I did not like Rocky.
How?
Well, if you've seen the first 3, you're going to watch the first one. Oh, my God. The first one was nominated for Best Picture.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. You should.
Oh, didn't it win? Wait, it
may have won.
Did it win?
I think it did win.
Okay.
Stallone, you know the story on this. Stallone watched a fighter named Chuck Wepner, and he fought, and he was given a shot from nowhere to fight the champion somehow. Like somebody got injured, so he got to fight him. And he lost, but he was just like this bruiser from wherever. And Rocky, or Stallone, took that story and wrote Rocky. In fact, Wepner sued him years later.
Wow.
I think he won. The story is, you know the story of Rocky?
Yeah. He's a guy who was down on his luck. And,
but he was a nobody.
Yeah,
He just like a club fighter. He called himself a ham and egger.
Yeah.
And Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers, is getting ready to fight on, I believe it's 4th of July of 76, 4th of July 76 in Philadelphia. The second place fighter or whatever, the number one contender, and that guy breaks his hand. So instead of lining up somebody else that's in the top 10, he goes for this unknown, and he loved his name, Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
And then Rocky fights him like tooth and nail to the death. And it's a fantastic movie. Oh, it's really good.
So Rocky, spoiler alert, he lost the first one.
Yeah, he did.
And then I never saw it, but he beat Apollo in the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one I like, but it's much more like what you'd think would happen.
Yeah.
The first one he loses, it's a draw. So Apollo keeps the title.
Yeah.
And when it happens, you're just like, what? Because the whole movie, of course, you're seeing him train.
You're waiting for him to, It's
a fantastic, you know how most sports movies are like that.
Yeah.
So what is the Sylvester, only Rocky IV, that's it. You didn't see Rambo.
Never saw Rambo.
You see First Blood.
Never saw First Blood.
First Blood is outstanding.
I think Rocky IV is the only Sylvester Stallone movie I've ever seen.
First Blood is great. I even like Rambo Part 2, which I don't like the way they named these. The very first one was called First Blood.
Okay.
And Stallone is walking through a town. He's a Vietnam vet, and the sheriff and his deputies rough him up and throw him in jail because of the way he looks, basically, and he gets total revenge on the town. It's fantastic. The second one, they call it Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Okay.
The third one, they call it Rambo 3. And now they just lose First Blood entirely.
Yeah.
The first one I loved. After that, downhill, especially by 3 and 4.
Because I never saw any of the Expendables movies.
No. Predator?
Never saw Predator.
I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't think Stallone's in Predator. Is he?
That's Schwarzenegger, isn't it? Yeah.
Along with Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers. Have you seen a Carl Weathers movie? No.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV, but he dies.
But he dies in that movie. And Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, I hate Happy Gilmore.
That's wild to me.
It's awful. I can't. Well, I don't like.
I know you don't like Adam Sandler.
I think that it's so silly and stupid.
I think that's it as far as Carl Weathers goes.
Now, Carl Weathers, Stallone says if he could go back in time, he would not have written the death for Carl Weathers.
Oh, really?
Because he and Carl Weathers were great friends, and he felt like he should have kept Carl Weathers' character, Apollo Creed, in all the subsequent Rocky movies.
I got you.
And then they made Creed. I mean, they've made that with Michael B. Jordan.
And he was supposed to be his illegitimate son or something like that.
And they show like footage
and
of
that's
him.
taken on a life of its own.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Golly, Carl Weathers is great in Rocky. Anyhow, so I suggested let's do the best 5 Stallone movies, and you said I've seen one.
Yeah, I can't really.
So you can't do it. So your number one Stallone movie is Rocky IV.
Rocky IV, yes.
See Rocky 1, my God. Jeez. So then we morph that into top 5 sports movies of all time. All right, so do you have...
I've got 5
You've got 5 great sports movies.
I love them.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll be great to you, but they're great to me.
Okay.
In my heart.
All right, give me 5.
But number 5 for me is Rookie of the Year.
The baseball movie.
Gary Busey, Daniel Stern, John Candy.
Yeah.
It's about a kid. I watched it growing up, and it's got a place in my heart. A kid breaks his arm, and when he gets the cast taken off, he has the ability to throw it like 105 miles an hour.
And does he then go play for
plays for the Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
And then the funniness ensues.
I haven't seen it.
Yes, it's fantastic.
It's good. Okay,
yes.
all right.
I think your boy might like it. It's a good kids movie.
Number 5 for me, and I don't see if you consider it a sports movie. Jerry Maguire.
See, I went back and forth about that.
Yeah, if you call it a sports movie, I'm gonna put it there. If not, I won't.
I think you could call it a sports movie.
It's football.
Sports is involved in it. Yeah,
but it's really romantic.
It really is.
I love Tom Cruise in it. I love Renee Zellweger in it. I think. I mean, it's iconic.
Didn't Cuba win Best Supporting for that?
He won Best Supporting Actor for that. When I watched it in the theater, I just was like, what do they say? I got all the feels.
Oh, really?
Mean, I loved it. Loved everything about it.
I think we could classify that as a sports movie.
Okay, then I'll put it number 5.
Okay.
What's your number 4?
Hoop Dreams.
Yeah, I saw it, liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Very good. Didn't make my list, but I really liked it.
I think people think that's one of the best documentaries ever made.
It is.
It follows 2 kids, inner city Chicago, as their path to make it to the NBA.
And it's real, right?
It's very real, 100% real. And the kids, I think they're both still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one went on to play Division I, and they just went completely different paths.
Yeah.
And it was great to follow the arc of these people as they grew up.
Yeah, that was well done. I only saw it once in the theater, and I remember liking it a lot. I couldn't put it on this list because I don't know it.
It's long, too. It's
that was the thing.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I felt like it was too long.
But it's a great story.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a really good story. I agree. All right, those are a good pick.
Yeah.
I put The Natural at number 4. Baseball. Mm-hmm. Robert Redford. Have you seen it?
Never saw it. No.
Love it. Love everything about it. Redford.
Yeah.
Great performances in it. You'd probably like it if you like baseball. I mean, it's old school baseball.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall is excellent in that movie. Glenn Close is in that movie.
Okay. Does he play like a professional baseball player, or is it like a minor league guy?
He is. The movie starts and he's like 18 and being called up by the Cubs.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, he's a phenom. And then on the way to Chicago with his agent, they stop at like a county fair, and he's pitching beautifully, and they're on a train. I mean, it's 1930s, 40s, whatever it is. And there's a guy named the Whammer who's clearly Babe Ruth. I mean, you're thinking, he's knocking the ball out of the park for kids and stuff. And the agent for Roy Hobbs is his name, played by Robert Redford, says, I bet he can strike you out in 3 pitches. And so there's a big bet, and like the Whammer's like this big ego, you know.
Yeah.
So he does it in front of all these people, and he strikes him out, and it's like, okay, that's really cool. So one woman who sees it there they call her the Black Widow, and she's in the papers. She's murdering athletes. She's murdering professional athletes. And clearly she had her eye on the Whammer. She's going to murder him. And when he strikes him out, she goes to bed with him, sleeps with him, and shoots him. Okay, so he's shot in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
What? Right? Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, that was a weird switch up.
It's really good. And then he's in the hospital for so long, he doesn't get back to baseball for 16 years. And they call him the natural. Nobody had ever heard of him, but he was a phenomenal player when he was like 18. Well, now he's like 36, and he's up in the big leagues. They call him up. But they only call him up because the owner of the team is trying to throw the season. They're like, put him in. He's terrible, and he's really great. You should really watch it.
I might have to check that out. That plot twist really messed me up.
Well, what do you see?
I just thought it was about some dude trying to play baseball.
I shouldn't have even told you because it's so out of nowhere. I mean, you see the articles like the Black Widow strikes again and then kills a basketball player or something. Yeah. And then out of nowhere she shoots him, and it's a great movie. I think you'd really like it.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
All right, what's your number 3?
The Replacements.
Saw it. Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Didn't love it.
I think
did not love it.
As far as a comedy movie and a football movie, it's amazing. I could recite the whole thing.
I'm stunned it's on this list.
I love that movie so much.
I'm shocked. I'm repulsed.
It's one of those movies that, for me, if it's ever on TV, I'm watching it.
I only saw it once.
I'm watching it. You ought to revisit that movie.
Gene Hackman.
Yes.
I do
one of
love
his
him.
last roles.
I do love him.
His very last role was Welcome to Mooseport. I think this came out right before that.
He's still living? 90s?
Yes, still living.
From what I hear, doing well. Yeah. He had to quit acting, but he's doing very well.
Killing it.
My 3 is Friday Night Lights. Did you see it?
Did see it?
Loved it.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but
loved it.
When Boobie Miles learned that he wasn't going to play again.
True story.
Absolutely devastating.
And they went. I mean, he tried to play again, of course.
Yeah.
That was, and that's true, too, from what I understand.
I heard that the show is great, too. Never watched the show.
Show's better than the movie.
Really?
Loved it. Didn't think it would be that great. I mean, I always tell you what to watch.
Yeah.
The show, unfortunately, is like 5 or 6 seasons. I know you won't give the time to it. The last episode, the last 5 minutes of the last episode, oh, my God, tears. Oh, and Michael B. Jordan's in it.
Yes, and that was
at the end, the last
movie,
2 seasons.
Was that Tim McGraw's first acting? Killed it.
I don't know if it was first. It was awfully good.
Yes.
He did a great job in that.
I know that scene where he gets drunk and then tapes the football.
Oh, yeah. And then at the end, when the son plays his heart out, they don't win, spoiler.
Yeah.
And he slides the championship ring on his finger. That's good stuff.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it.
Tim
McGraw. The kid, have you seen Billy Bob Thornton, of course, is great.
Yeah,
You've seen Sling Blade.
Yes.
The kid in Sling Blade is the quarterback in
Josh
Friday Night Lights.
Black, I think is his name, or something like that. Yes.
Excellent movie. Yeah. What's your number 2?
The Sandlot.
Okay. I knew you'd say The Sandlot.
I
knew you'd say it. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something about The Sandlot.
Okay.
I saw it in the theater and thought, good. Never revisited. Didn't care. Now all I hear about is how great that. For 30 years, I've heard Sandlot is a phenomenal. Yeah. I missed it. I mean, I watched it and thought, okay, it's okay. Mm-hmm. But I never wanted to revisit it. But now I hear it's just like this incredible thing.
See, I feel like Sandlot is the same way with people in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like you had to be a certain age when it came out. Because when it came out, I was playing ball.
Yeah.
And all my friends were playing ball.
Yeah.
And that's all we wanted to do was be like those kids.
Yeah.
Get together, pitch, hit, talk about ball. That's all we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a generational thing. I
think
really
you're
do.
Right.
But on top of that, I think it's a great summer coming of age movie.
Yeah.
That it stands the test of time.
I should watch it again because I love those kind of movies.
Yes.
And I did not get it the first time around. I don't know why I didn't get it.
I mean, imagine being a kid when that came out. All summer long, all you do is hang out with your friends and play ball and get into crap.
Pretty nice.
Like, it's an amazing movie.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
Every 5 years, there's like this big, it's the 25th anniversary of The Sandlot.
We'll see.
It's one of those movies that just stands the test of time.
I guess.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Hoosiers.
Okay.
You haven't seen it.
No, never saw
1986, Gene Hackman, Indiana basketball, high school basketball, phenomenal. Loved it.
What was the name of the kid? Jimmy Chitwood.
Jimmy Chitwood. The only problem I have with a friend of mine has this problem too is at the end it's more about Jimmy Chitwood joining the team than the coach. You know, Chitwood joins the team. It's great though. I mean, it's great.
The one funny thing about Hoosiers is that for some, like, I don't know, 10 several years ago, people started selling sports gear based on movies.
Yeah.
So you could get like a Shane Falco Washington Sentinels jersey from the replacements. Jimmy Chitwood, Hoosiers jersey,
smart,
or Hickory jersey, was one that always was seen out. You know,
I should get a Chitwood
get
jersey.
You a Chitwood jersey.
Dang, I have a good friend from Indiana. I should buy him. I never buy him presents. I don't even send him a card. But I should get him a Chitwood jersey.
Yeah.
Dang,
that would be cool.
Love that because he loves Indiana basketball and he loves that movie.
Yeah,
it's great. What's your number 1?
I have a feeling we're gonna have the same one.
You think?
Yes.
What is it?
Moneyball.
We're not. Definitely not.
Oh,
what do you have?
Moneyball.
Ooh, I love Moneyball. I forgot about it.
I think.
I love Moneyball.
Baseball, sports, drama, comedy, acting.
Wow.
I don't think it gets better than Moneyball.
Oh, you're right. It's in my. It's phenomenal.
I think Moneyball is the perfect sports movie.
Dang, I forgot about it. I totally forgot about it. I loved it. I
loved
Brad Pitt,
Jonah Hill.
Ooh, it's great.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Every time I see it, I love it.
Yes,
you're right.
It gets better and better.
I'm knocking out Jerry Maguire. I'm moving everything down 1. I'm putting it number 2. I love it.
Yes, Moneyball is absolutely perfect.
I love all these movies.
It's another one that whenever it's on,
I
watch
great.
it. I mean,
it's
several
really
times
well done. True story too.
Yeah.
I mean, they played. I love that about one thing they don't mention is the A's did have 3 lights out pitchers that year.
I was just getting ready to say
they don't mention that.
They had an all-star third baseman. They had an all-star shortstop, and probably the best pitching rotation.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was
just
a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the loss of Giambi, Damon, and Isringhausen was big, but Mark Mulder was the man. Barry Zito, Eric Chavez, Miguel Tejada.
Great players.
Come on, dude.
And they never mention a breath of them.
No, not once.
But they did have, of course, they're going to lose them too because they can't pay. But
still a great story.
It was. It's amazing and really well acted. Well, my number 1 was Rocky, which we already talked
of course.
about. I love Rocky. I mean, the reason I love Rocky is because he loses, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I also love Bad News Bears, which I love.
Wow,
the early Bad News Bears is phenomenal.
The original, was so much better than the remake.
Oh God, so good.
Walter Matthau.
I loved it.
Oh, God.
So I mean, really, I'd probably put a top 7. I do like sports movies, and I know people say stop talking about sports. These are not sports; this is movies.
Sports movies. Everybody can enjoy these.
I agree.
Yes.
You know what I hate? Field of Dreams.
Yes, agree.
Rudy.
Never saw it.
Hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like We Are Marshall either, which I think probably I should.
Okay. What about Remember the Titans?
I like it a lot. I almost put it on the top. I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
I love Denzel. I'm overwhelmed with that movie. We Are Marshall, I just thought was like heavy-handed. Even it's a true story.
Yeah.
You see it?
I did a long time ago. I don't remember much of it.
He does a good speech. It's McConaughey. He does a nice speech at the end, but other than that, I thought they didn't handle it all that well. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. Because they have the better quarterback. They'll win by 3.
I think Brock Purdy will get exposed.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs will win it.
They'll find a way to get it done, like 27-24.
I think so.
Are they a dynasty at that point?
I think so.
I do too. But they have to win, I think, this time.
To win 3, yes. 3 in what, 6 years?
Yeah, 5, I believe.
5 years. That's crazy.
And he's been Mahomes since he got there. They've been to 6 consecutive AFC Championship games.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
unheard of. Dude.
I agree. So I think the Chiefs will win. I think if they do win, they're a dynasty already. You can call them that. If they don't, I don't think I'd call them that just yet.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow, great podcast. Yes. We really did podcast our ass off.
We got it done today.
Greeting cards.
You should wear those glasses more often.
You like these?
Yeah.
These are going to be my podcast glasses.
I like this.
I won't wear them all the time. These are going to be my pod glasses.
You know what time it is.
It's exactly right. It's podcast time. That's the square in the round. Yeah. Until next week, enjoy the Super Bowl, and we will be back.